everyone, and welcome to my channel. I've got mystical medleys on the table, the bad boys I call them, because sometimes they play nicely and sometimes they don't. And they have the ginger ones energies all over them. So I am using them this time because we've got the Eco Warrior, high flying Hypocrite Harry back again. Now, when I saw this, I thought, China, what do you want with China? So I let it go, and I just thought, well, there'll be something, they'll brag about something. Something will be in the news, despite the fact that he was trying to shade his father and Camilla, obviously, over in Canada. But sorry about the noise. That is my dog enjoying his dinner. And then he came up across on, I think it was Talk TV or something, where they were blasting him about the amount of tons being spent, on the greenhouse gas emissions, which was along 6.3 tons just travelling first class. And, of course, if it was private, then it would be, so much more, maybe even 10 times or 100 times more. He would also have to had a stopover in Asia somewhere as well, coming from LA. So, there's more things happening as well. To have a look at trip.com, which is a Chinese-owned company, and they rebranded, I think, about a decade ago. The End Vision 2025, I'm not getting much information about it apart from, him being hypocritical kind of thing. I mean, you travel 6,400 miles, right? So basically halfway across the world to lecture people about saving emissions, about traveling, right? Exactly. A couple of words, pathetic's one of them. I mean, what's the matter with Zoom? Then that's good faith. That's logical. So what annoyed me was when he kept saying about Asia Pacific. And I know from the recent navigations around Australia that China, on the top part on the east side, has a very influence on the islands in that area. So I'll just put that up on the screen to see how threatening you could say, how intimidating. You've got Solomon Islands, you've got Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, Cook Islands, and also Vanuatu. Also note that we've got, a couple of Commonwealth countries there too. Harry, what are we doing? What are we doing, Harry? What are we doing on the east top part of talking about the east top part? So, yeah, let's just see what the bad boys have to say. All right, Six of Wands. Well, there's that event with his nose stuck up in the air. All right, Four of Swords, Page of Cups, Page of Wands, and the King of Swords. Well, I don't think this has got anything to do with William. If anything, I would say it's to shade his father. I'm not too sure what the is the person, are they president, the ruler of China is. I have no idea. Don't look into that too much because it's actually upsetting when, the local news comes on the screen as it is, seeing what they're doing. So let's just keep going. But it would appear that some sort of lawyer involved possibly as well. You've also got two messages here. One was a surprise and one was a surprise message. So I guess that's your paparazzi saying that. And you've also got in mainstream media also, it was all a surprise. Well, just goes to show you he can travel around the world without security or without the world knowing, right? Page of Wands is also making a statement, a message, which is pretty much what he did up on stage. The thing is that when you've got the Four of Swords, it's like technically dead in the water. If it was upright, I could be saying, well, he's tending with a few things, but this one, it's like, it's over. It's over before it began. So this is getting a little bit confusing. There's Dark Harry there. Ace of Swords, absolute BS. Absolute BS. Whatever the message he was sending out on the main stage, it's absolute BS. Well, we knew that. We knew that anyway, just for face value. One, he could have assumed, which would have definitely, he then could have said, well, I've just saved 6.31 tonnes of greenhouse gas emissions, and I've also just saved all the, the time and effort of getting there, as well as transiting in another airport, allegedly, right? Because there isn't direct flights. They're too far. They're too far for that kind of thing, allegedly. Three of Cups, but there's a third-party involvement here. Absolutely a third-party involvement of something that is basically dead in the water. It's just Hierophant. Hierophant reverse. Knight of Pentacles. Six of Swords reverse. And Ace of Pentacles. Well, he went there to merge, but that didn't happen. So that possibly could be why the Four of Swords is reversed. So he may have just, hit the nail on the head immediately as soon as he got there and contacted whoever he wanted to do business with. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever dealt with Chinese businessmen. They are very, very shrewd, and it's very, very hard to get money out of them. So yeah, maybe, and just because he's raw, it doesn't mean anything to them, right? So yeah, maybe that was the first thing that he did. He, went knocking on the door of whatever investor he thought he could use. Of course, he's using travelers here. This is where he gets a wage of something like $1 million a year to do absolutely nothing, allegedly. And at the end of the day, they would have paid for his transport, right? All his airfares and accommodation, everything like that. So that would have been paid for. I do believe that it was very, very murky waters. I don't think he realised. Maybe the actual surprise was Harry actually got that surprise because it made Dark Harry. And you could see or hear, actually you could hear in his voice, which I only listened to for a split second, you could hear animosity. So without, listening to him babble on and carry on about how good it is and what we've all got to do to, save, while he goes into a plane and flies home, right? The thing is that you've also got the Hierophant reverse as well. Now, this is your upper caste. So this also could be whoever the King of Swords is. But it can also be Charles as well. I think it was a double thing. I thought at the time, immediate, I thought, oh, there they go. No, she's not inventing any dog biscuits at the moment. That's probably going to be another reading if I decide to get around to it. She's walking away from her was never. So, maybe he was over there trying to find someone because, China is the place to go for those kind of things. However, of course, now with all the tariffs, it gets a bit confusing, doesn't it? Very, very murky waters, very murky waters. And there was a third party involvement at the time, but I don't think with the Ace of Pentacles reverse, I don't think he got anything. He didn't get a cent out of it with what he was seeking for. Maybe what was, the surprise announcement. He goes in as HRH, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex and blah, blah, blah. He seems to think he can just do whatever he can get away with in the Western world. Basically they both have the green light in the Western world. They can do whatever they want and get away with it, right? Including visas. Doesn't work in the Eastern world. Okay, so there's death, Two of Swords reverse, Nine of Wands reverse, Five of Wands upright, and the Queen of Wands reverse. I wonder if he was seeking out something to do with the next thing that she's after. I do believe that she dropped a couple of things about she may be looking into clothes, those potato sacks and curtains that she wears. There's possibly, maybe, just maybe, that might have been the personal gain side of things, because there was lots of arguments and fights and squabbles in-house. This is in-house with the Five of Wands. So maybe this is the reason why he decided to jump on the plane, travel halfway around the world, and start preaching about greenhouse emissions whilst using tons and tons of it doing so. Please make it make sense. Someone was actually in denial, but they came to a reality check that they're not going to win. And this was maybe even before. Like, he would have had to arrive obviously before. So maybe he stayed overnight. On his arrival, he met with someone. It would appear that it's got something to do with her, possibly clothing, ongoing clothing, because they're very, very big on that. Very easy to get things like that in China made. Absolutely. Under your own brand. Absolutely. And cheap as well. But he was absolutely looking for a transition. Absolutely, to go forward. But I have a feeling it was her. I have a feeling it was all her. Queen of Wands here. Strength. Oh, good Lord. Deliriously happy squirrel. Sad, happy squirrel reverse. Ten of Pentacles. We've got Strength reverse. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. And the Traveler in reverse. All negative. All negative. All for their legacy. All for their brand. You know what they're going to do? They're going to carry on with what her next thing is, which is sometime next year, right? Because if you have actually done a deal, which it would appear that he didn't get the deal that he wanted to, but if you are doing some sort of deal, especially with the Chinese, with the templates and everything like that, you do actually have to put things together and, work out how much things are going to cost, get, big orders in, templates, logos. And I believe that she is going to come up with her M and the crown, and there's going to be HRH some way. And I had a gut feeling, and I don't know why I had it, but I heard something and I thought he's going to start merching himself, probably because they did that, they mimic Kensington Palace crown structure, right? I think I might read on that separately, because I like to know the energies where they're going with that. Not very, very DEI either. However, it's both of them individually, but under the same brand, right? I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of the crowns and the logos with the H and the M, and possibly even the H and M together, as well as HRH. Oh, what else would the Queen of Pentacles be? That testing with that Jamie Kern, whatever person, that was testing the waters. That was released purposely. Otherwise, it would have been released well and truly before now. That was all released and it was all confirmed. She never got a slap on the wrist for that. Oh. It's all for the brand. They're over there for the next chapter in 2026. Or definitely her, but here's the Traveler doing the business. And cashing in big time on the royal family. But you are. Now that's just made my blood boil. All right, I'm going to probably break down this reading a little bit more and go into individual ones on why they never get told. and also her not supplying things after, whatever, and taking a step back. I think I've probably put the cart before the horse with this, so I'm going to backpedal and now just try and connect the dots with this reading. So yeah, I hope you can follow me over. I'll try and get it out as soon as I can, especially on a daily basis. I do try. So please bear with me. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.